Okay, so we just finished up looking at finding the polynomial in standard form. You also looked at the leading coefficient, which, yes, will come back later on this week. You found the degree of the polynomial, how many terms, which led you to naming it. All right, so hopefully you feel more confident when you look at a polynomial, you can find all those things. All right, now for the remaining part of class, we're going to look at adding and subtracting these polynomials. Now, I think the most important thing that you need to think of when you're doing these is to make sure that they're in standard form first. Question, Sergio? Standard form first. All right. I always think students have more success when doing this, even on the SAT, making sure that they're in standard form first before you do anything. All right. So let's look at our example together. Example 2. So let me just show you what I think is the best way to do it. You'll get it right more than getting it wrong, but it's up to you how you want to do it. The first thing I notice is this is a binomial, all right? And it's not in standard form. So I'm going to rewrite it as negative 2x squared plus 3. All right, so I rewrote it in standard form. That's all I did for the first polynomial. I don't want you to think flipping it. I just put it in standard form. The order now has the exponent before the constant.
So basically, it was flipped from the first case, you would just leave that.
If it had been written in standard form, I would have not done anything, yes. Minus, now be careful on this one. Do the same thing. The x squared is the highest exponent, so that's going to stay there. But do you see how the 6 comes before the x term? So I'm going to write minus x plus 6. Because standard form means to put x to the first power before x to the 0 power. This is actually 6x to the 0 power. That's why we don't write it. Is there a question? No. Great. All right, now.
So would number 3 be like 3x to the 0 power?
Number 3?
No.
Yeah. This 3 here is also 3x to the 0 power. You're right. Thanks. Now, Sebastian's brain wants to distribute this subtraction symbol, so you'd have to multiply all 3 of these terms after it by the negative, and then you would do addition. I don't do that. I don't think that's the most efficient way to do this, especially if you have a calculator in front of you. So what I tell students to do is to start with negative 2x squared. What's the other x squared in the other polynomial? X squared. So what is negative 2x squared minus 1x squared? What happened is this. Negative 2x squared minus 1x squared. It's negative 3x squared. Very good. Now, if you're having trouble with that, all you can do in your calculator is write negative 2 minus 1. And we'll give you negative 3. Questions on how I got negative 3x squared? Okay, now, here's where it gets tricky. And some of you are going to do this on the SAT and miss this when you really shouldn't. Do you notice how this doesn't have an x term? It doesn't say like plus 6x or something. All right, so it's really like there's no x or 0x. So what's 0x minus negative x? It is x. Very good. All right, that can be a little confusing. Let me show you again. Or do you see how this doesn't have x to the first power? So I just wrote above it, hey, there's no x to the first power, so 0x. So 0 minus negative 1 is actually a positive 1. That's why it's plus x. It's not, but it is something that's going to be tricky, and that will mess you up today and on future things. Okay? No, check the recording. All right, let's do the next one. So 3 minus 6 is negative 3. And that's the answer. 3 minus 6 is negative 3. And you've done it.
No way. Nice.
Now, the key thing I'm going to tell you guys when I let you guys stand up to try these is I'm going to ask you, if when you get a wrong answer, did you put them in standard form to start? And the answer is no, then I'm going to tell you to do that. If you said yes, then maybe it's because it was missing a term and it was tricky with the nothing minus something else. That can be tricky. Yes. Let's go to Daniel, Daniel and then Sebastian.
If you just do it, like do the
choose to
Could I just do what? Listen.